Wanda Coffee. Try the new Wanda Extra Presso. Brickfields Asia College, the fastest and smartest way. And MyEG, your e-government service provider.
내가 널 얼마나 도와줬는데 내 돈 어디 있어? 얘이 나쁜 너! 내 돈 어디 있어? 야 이년아! 내가 너를 어떻게 키웠는데? 이럴 수가 있어! 얘이 나쁜 너! 저것처럼
It's a London derby in the FA Cup Finals. The Blues' impressive season chases a climatic domestic double.
Here's Hayden Hazard!
And the pressure is on for Arsene Wenger for the last chance for Gunners silverware.
What a ball, what a goal!
A game that shapes a legacy. The FA Cup Final, Arsenal versus Chelsea, live on Astro SuperSport 4 and Astro Go.
Imagine an education that takes you beyond classrooms, which does not limit you, which prepares you for the challenges that lie ahead. With ample options and different career paths, and support from a global network of universities, where you will build friendships that will change your life forever and be ready to change the world. This is the future of education. Brickfields Asia College, the best brand in education.
Well, the Premier League season has officially ended. All the games are done. Football season hasn't ended. We've still got a couple of key matches, of course, Champions League and FA Cups. But looking back at everything from today and all the results and all the excitement and all the drama, what was the biggest surprise for you gents today?
The amount of goals we've seen on the final day. I know there's lots of games that have got nothing on it, but the quality is still there. And fair play to the teams that went out there. Man City's had a lot to play for. Tottenham didn't, but performed. And that's what managers have been saying in the past. We hope that they give it all managers, all teams that are playing. And Tottenham done that today. I thought it was a fantastic performance. That's the top performance of the day. I know City, and Paul was watching that, was a top, but they had something on it. There was something meaningful.
You should be happy that Liverpool beat the team
Some
from the
smile.
bottom half of the table. Finally.
Yeah. Yes, well, they deserved it over the piece. So I've got to say that. It'd have been a travesty if they hadn't managed Champions League football, but they have deserved it. And fair play. And now the building blocks are there.
Steve, I was really surprised how nervous Liverpool seemed to be for the first, 20, 30 minutes of the game.
Well, they haven't been in that position for a long, long time. So that's why they were nervous. The crowd, and with Arsenal going ahead as well, against Everton, that vibrates around the ground. The players then can get...
Does it really affect the players?
Yes, because it must do. You get
know,
wind of
you
it.
sense it,
Everybody
you feel
knows. They'll know. Liverpool players at that moment in time will have known Arsenal have taken the lead. They'll have known that they're not playing very well. They know that they're scraping. It's getting towards half-time. 45 minutes are almost on the clock. Are we going to do it? Is it going to be one of them days again? And they get the goal, the all-important goal that they can go into half-time.
Okay, well, I do want to continue talking about Liverpool, but let's also talk about Manchester City, because ultimately they've made it easiest for themselves by A, winning their match, and B, avoiding the qualifier. So they go straight into the group stage, smooth sailing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, they've ended the season, for them, great. If you're talking about momentum to go into the next season, I think City have finished it very, very well. I think there was a little bit more consistency in the picking of the team than what there had been when he's making a lot of changes. Otamendi played a lot of games at the end rather than keeps changing around. Company comes back and he makes a difference because he's not going to be looking to get too much play in the fact of attacking wise. But he was there defending. I still think they've got to find someone else in there if they're going to play him. He needs someone else with him in there who can actually defend first. But as I said earlier, the front six is that good. You can virtually just play a back four and say, you front six, go and make opportunities. Go and do that rather than this footballing goalkeeper, which has cost them. It's cost City badly. If they kept Joe Hart, City would have been there competing, but the fact that they would have got more clean sheets.
It sounds so odd, a footballing goalkeeper, the way you put it, but...
Well, when you look at the quality and pace Manchester City have going forward, why do you want to spend too much time with the ball at the back and take chances at the back? I understand why you play from the back, because you want quality possession further up the park rather than the keeper kicking it and it becomes a fight ball. But for me, Manchester City have just taken far too many chances at the back. Tried to play far too much from the back.
Is that down to the manager not adapting to the league and his arrogance costing Manchester City a place in the top 2?
100%. Even the fullbacks, they're inverted, so they're not actually playing fullbacks, they're playing inside as midfield players. So the players haven't bought into what he wants. And it's not the player's fault, because you're playing players in the wrong positions. And it's hard for every single person on that pitch, which what Parks alluded to, including your goalkeeper, has to try and play football. That's not... You do your job, you're a goalkeeper, stop them goals. Stop it. That's what you do. You're a goalkeeper, you're a keeper of goals, so just keep the clean sheets. I'll be happy with that. You're a full-back and you're a centre-half. You defend. I want clean sheets out of you guys as much as possible. Midfield players, you get up and back. You work hard, you make things happen, which you do in general. Strikers, go and score me goals. Go and get the pace. Identify what individuals are good at. Once they're good at that, keep it going.
Let's go back to Vicarage Road. I believe we've got the skipper, Vincent Kompany, standing by.
Many congratulations. Just give us your thoughts on securing the result you needed, and in such style as well.
Yeah, I think we can be really happy with the performance. I don't know, sometimes it's days like this where you kind of put on your boots and everything happens, and that's what happened today. I reckon we showed at many moments how much quality there is in this team, what the standard should be going forward and defending as well. And you know, I really believe that you finish the season the way you want to start the next season, and you know, bring on the next season.
Looking back, just how crucial was the goal that you scored coming when it did?
I don't know if it was that crucial. I mean, I'm happy I got another goal, but I'm really happy with the clean sheet as well.
It's great to see you back in action. Personally, how rewarding has it been to have played such a key role in the run-in this season?
I reckon it's a bit of a lesson for any young footballer, really. My season was dead and buried very early on, and I knew that when you play for big clubs, and we didn't even reach a cup final or anything, but I knew that if you play for big clubs, every minute you get is worth fighting for, and this season has been like this. In the end, my game spark mattered, and I'm really happy for that, and I'm happy to look forward to next season.
And next season, how do you build on this?
Excuse me?
Next season, how do you build on this?
Like I said, we were really aggressive in the pressing. We recovered possession well. Our possession was good, and we need to be extremely focused in the key moments, in the boxes for us and in the boxes against us.
Well done today.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Vincent Kompany. Roshan, I know you got a question here.
No, because we've been covering Manchester City for this entire season, and every time, Paul, we've spoken about him, you think his best days are past him?
I think in certain ways, yeah. I do. He's not, obviously, I'm going to make a statement, which is a fact. He's not the player he was. I think the injuries have caught up with him. It's affected his pace. It's affected his mobility. We've seen him on a few occasions when he gets caught 1-against-1, he struggles. But he's come back. He's scored goals. City have suddenly hit a bit of form as well with him in the side. So maybe the fact of he's maybe having to change his game slightly and kind of play different to the way he was. May not be as adventurous as he was before. He's not maybe going to win those sprints anymore, what he used to win and out-strengthening people. He's got to maybe play with that little bit about his positional sense now, to be in areas to affect people, passing the ball that way, maybe forcing people to play in front. So, yes, his game has changed that way. He's not the player he was, but looking at how he is, I think he's defended very, very well, because he's had to change because of the way his body is now.
But if you think where Man City are striving to be, which is to win the Premier League, win the Champions League, you know, is Vincent Kompany still, is he at that level? I don't think he is now. I think he's a squad player, definitely. I think he's somebody that City can rely on. I think he's very much a City man, so I think he would be good to keep around the place. But I don't see City achieving what they want to achieve if he is one of their central defenders.
You can put Toure in that box of players who are past the sell-by date. So I think if you go Company and Toure, they're two positions that you look to fill. Certainly, as first-team players, squad players, you don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just about ready for the trophy presentation. So let's pass you over to your match commentators, Matt Holland, John Champion.
Photographers on the right of your picture. All around this stadium too.
We're having some technical difficulties. We do apologise for that. So as we wait for it to return, I want to talk a little bit about Liverpool as well, because I know they just beat a team in the bottom half, Middlesbrough, but they did it the week before. And before that, they took on Southampton, which was a draw. They beat Watford. That's also 4 clean sheets in a row.
And West Brom.
And
away.
West Brom. Well,
was a clean sheet.
4 in a row here.
Well, he had 4 or 5.
Because prior to that was Crystal Palace, where they lost.
Yeah, they had very tough games.
They're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, winning, not playing fantastic football. The loss of Mane didn't help.
I do apologise. We're going to go back again to Stamford Bridge. We do have our feedback.
It's all right, Steve. We will come back to you.
We will.
Make sure you do.
Hold your thoughts first, Steve. Matt Holland, John Champion, your match commentators.
In the centre of the picture, the long-serving player liaison officer here who's worked under all the managers of the Abramovich era. Mickey Roberts applauding there, the kit manager of equally long-standing, and a special word of appreciation for Steve Holland, saluted by the owner of the last 14 years, the man whose deep pockets have made all of this possible, Roman Abramovich. The trophy brought out appropriately by the man who, until the advent of John Terry, was the most successful captain in Chelsea's history. And he was skipper when Terry broke into the first team in 1998. Dennis Wise, forever immensely popular in these parts. And behind him, Tom Horrigan, Chelsea's community champion, who'll present the trophy, and the executive chairman of the Premier League, Richard Scudamore. Dennis Wise, the captain the day that John Terry made his Chelsea debut in a League Cup tie here against Aston Villa. Terry came on in the 86th minute of a 4-1 win. Wise was sent off in the 87th. Man that went up to collect an FA Cup in Chelsea colours with his children in his arms. So the stage is set, the trophy is on its plinth. We now await the central characters. First, a lingering appreciation of a former captain. Brightest of spring sunshine bearing down on Stamford Bridge. Down in the tunnel, the players are gathered and ready. Before they come out, it will be the manager, Antonio Conte, in his first season in English football. A triumphant campaign, and a man who has set the tone by his engagement and involvement in every aspect of every game that Chelsea have played. First to come out, the group of young players who've been part of the Premier League squad but are not, as things stand, eligible for a medal. Ola Aina, Nathan Ake, Kennedy, Eduardo, the veteran reserve goalkeeper. And now, maybe, after a quick session with the hairdryer, not the Ferguson sort, Antonio Conte. How would you sum up his achievement in winning the title in his first year in England, Matt?
I think it's been magnificent. I think he's lived and breathed every second of it as well. Such emotion on the touchline. Relentless pursuit of this title, tactically as well. I think he wanted to play a back three, didn't feel his team were ready. Took him a while to change to that system, but as soon as they did, they didn't look back.
Conte walks to the middle. Here come his mainstays, led by the Player of the Year, N'Golo Conte. Close behind him, Diego Costa. And the rest of this core squad of 23 who've carried the club to a 6th league title, a 5th of the Premier League era. And the captains of both team and club, Gary Cahill and John Terry. And as we look at the very modern Chelsea, we should point out that their only league championship before the advent of the Premier League came back in 1955. And as the modern-day players go up to receive their medals, watching these pictures from his home in Royal Berkshire, will be the only man ever to lift a league trophy for Chelsea, apart from John Terry. We should give a nod to Roy Bentley, who celebrated his 93rd birthday earlier this week. But that was then, and this is now. And things are done very differently, even recorded for posterity by those involved in Kurt Zuma's case. Huge draw for N'Golo Conte.
A deserved winner of the Player of the Year trophy. He's the first player, the only player to win back-to-back titles at different clubs.
Eden Hazard, fantastic 2 years ago. Almost invisible last year and back to his very best, as he showed with his goal today. Pedro, who for long periods has usurped Willian as a regular starter. Confirmed as the winner of the Golden Glove for the most clean sheets, Thibaut Courtois. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, who's been out with a back injury late in the season. One of the younger brigade, one of the few to get a chance. A player reborn and rejuvenated in Victor Moses. The Premier League's pantomime villain-in-chief, Diego Costa. Midfield enforcer Nemanja Matic. And now Willian, one of the goal scorers today. Finished the season with a flurry. Michy Batshuayi. If Costa is not around next season, his role could be more significant. The stage filling up. And after Cesar Azpilicueta comes forward, there will only be 4 men behind him. Nathaniel Chalobah. A few extrovert characters in this Chelsea side on this of all days, and the biggest extrovert of all is about to make his entry. David Luiz. This team, remember, lambasted last year, being lauded this. Champions for the 5th time in 13 seasons. The 2nd time in 3 years. Here comes a man for the present and the future. Gary Cahill. And just one man is left, waiting his turn at the end of the line. The Titan, John Terry. one of a kind. It's not often you get a moment that serves as both coronation and abdication, but this is one of them. John Terry has his Hollywood ending, and Chelsea are Premier League champions for the 5th time. The blue chip team collecting a blue ribbon prize. Blue the colour as Chelsea collect the Premier League trophy. Lords and masters of all they survey. And once again, champions of England.
Many thanks there to your commentators, and the Premier League title officially handed over to Chelsea. I think they've got, what, 93 points, and the highest amount of league points has been 95, set by Jose Mourinho Chelsea. Amongst all the Premier League champions and all the winning teams, where do they rank?
They was doing that before.
It's simple, up there with the best of them.
There's no point trying to say who's better than who. You could maybe have the argument could be that United done it and all of a sudden they went on and they went and done a treble as well after. So you could maybe look at, if you want to add those bits on, but all you can say is at the moment in time they are the best team in England at this moment in time. That's what they are. That's what champions are. There's no excuses by anybody else if they are the champions.
You can only win the league that is set out before you, and that's what Chelsea have done this year, and they've done it, with a lot more style than maybe they've done it in the past.
Correct.
So I would say that.
When you win the FA Cup, I mean, lots of teams have won the FA Cup and not been the best side because you can have a quite an easy run-in of fixtures who you play with the luck of the draw. You can be very lucky and you can maybe win on penalties. Something can happen for you over a period of 7 games. So you only have to scrape through in 7 games. In this Premier League, it's 38 games. It was 38 teams. 20 teams, sorry. And you've got to win most of your games. I don't know where I was going there. But basically, you've got to play 38 games.
Yeah, but Steve, that's a question,
not
isn't it?
7 games.
But the Europe, when they get into Europe next season, that is the challenge, isn't it?
Well, it's a better challenge for the players. That's what it is, and that's what if you don't win this Champions League, then they will be missing out on something like Manchester City. If I'm Manchester City, Guardiola and Mourinho's of this world and Klopp's, I get my players to sit and watch their celebrations. That's what I do. I say, this is what you want. This is what I want from you guys. This is what we want for next season. To be doing exactly the same things as Chelsea. How do you feel watching this lot pick this trophy up and run around in front of the fans? How do you feel? Because that's what we're after, this football club. And that's how I would sell this to my players if I'm City's, United's, Liverpool's, Tottenham's.
Is this a manager's title? Conte winning it for Chelsea?
Well, he's had a huge contribution, of course, but it is a team situation. The head coach needs to be right on top of it and get it right. The players need to perform. When players who aren't in the starting 11, when they get the opportunity to come in, they have to be ready for it, so they have to have been professional, waiting for their opportunity. It's a combination of so many things.
So what can Pep learn from Conte?
You've got to win. You've got to be a winner. Okay, in the ideal world, you want to have 100% of possession. He's already come out and said that at one stage. It's not going to happen. He's been close to it, 80% in some games and stuff. But you've got to be pragmatic as well. You've got to win games by not playing particularly well, not having a lion's share of possession, going out and winning your 1-0s occasionally, and probably more often, and not just occasionally. And having people who want to die for that football.
For me, the one thing that Pep Guardiola needs to do with his Man City side is to be defensively stronger and more organised. Chelsea have flair going forward, they score goals, but defensively, they've been, I think, the second best defensive side. I think Spurs were slightly better than them defensively. So, what does that tell you? The best defensive record, if I'm right in saying it's Spurs, they finished second. The second best is Chelsea, they finished top. And to win the league, a huge part of it is based on defensive stability.
Agreed. And Courtois got the Golden Glove, I think. He kept the most clean sheets.
There you go.
So that's in itself, and back to what Paul was saying about Manchester City, having a goalkeeper, not a footballer, in goal. Play John Stones in goal if you want that to happen.
Yeah.
Let him play off from the back. But that's what the point we're making.
Bravo come across and he looked like someone who put on gloves for the first time.
And being, being defensively strong and sound doesn't make you a boring team. You cannot say that Spurs are a boring side. They've just scored 13 goals in 2 games, for example. You cannot say that Chelsea are a boring side. They are, a very talented side, creative going forward. But you need that base, you need that platform.
You can't be a boring side when you've got Aguero on your side, Son in your
side.
Jesus in your side.
But start with the defence first.
De Bruyne.
De Bruyne in your side, Silva in your side. How can you be a boring side? You just have to stop conceding goals. That's all you have to do.
Let's go back over to Stamford Bridge. I believe pitch side we've got Gary Cahill standing by.
Gary, was that the perfect party display?
Yeah, of course. We wanted to win today. We didn't want to, finish up on a loss or a draw. We wanted to get the atmosphere like you see today. Today's all about celebration. Celebrating a fantastic player in John, celebrating a win today, celebrating winning a title. So that's a perfect ending.
You're already champions. Was the icing on the cake setting a new record, 30 wins?
Always. When there's ever a record to be set, no one's ever done that, ever. So that's something we knew before we started the game. That's something we wanted, and that's something we've got now. So we hold the record for that.
It was a fantastic send-off the club gave, John. Whose idea was that?
All of us. We're going to have a good celebration now at the stadium, under the stadium, and rightly so. Fitting for such a great player, such a idol at this football club. It was great. Coming off on the 26th minute for him. Coming now as captain again for the last time maybe, and. With his kids and everyone, so it's a fantastic occasion for himself. He thanked all the club for finishing as champions, and it's just celebrations all around. We're going to enjoy this, and then we go next week.
It was a touching moment when he came off through the guard of honour and gave you the armband. What did he say to you, and what did you say to him?
No, we spoke many times. He gave us the armband. It was obviously nice. It's been a great honour to be captain for a long period of this season, but we all know that he's club captain, and while he's here, he holds that respect amongst the fans, amongst the players. And like I said, you couldn't write. It was a perfect ending for him, I think.
You and he have got one more job to do together today. How much are you looking forward to lifting that trophy?
Very much so, even when we won it, obviously we didn't get a trophy, so I've been waiting for this moment. I've been waiting for this moment all season. And I can't wait. I can't wait to get my hands on it, champions, and get that medal around my neck.
Well done, Gary.
Thank you very much.
Thanks to Gary Cahill, and why don't we take a look at the match itself? Going a goal down, mark of a champion, getting back into it and ultimately winning emphatically.
Yeah, I suppose it went against the script a little bit, didn't it? Conceding a goal, and it was a scruffy goal that they conceded as well. So, defensively, they wouldn't have been too pleased with it, that's for sure. But I don't think the result was ever really in doubt. Chelsea are a far superior side to Sunderland, and across 90 minutes, for me, they were always going to win this game.
Every time they played, when they was at home, I always believed they was always going to win, even if they did concede first, and they did come behind a few times. Costa didn't have the best back end of the season. He looked like he hadn't actually washed his feet all week or something.
I've never seen so many bodies in an 18-yard box in general play. From a corner kick, maybe, but probably not even that many in a corner kick as well. But that was just ridiculous.
It's a great finish, isn't it, from Hazard? Really is. I'm expecting him to go inside, hit it right foot. He goes outside and crashes it in with his left foot. Misunderstanding there, Lescott and the Pickford. But Pedro, it doesn't score too many goals with his head, I wouldn't have thought.
There's another player, Paul touched on it, who's come out from the cold.
Yeah.
Because Mourinho didn't fancy him. He had him in there, and he toyed about with him, he didn't play him, and he's been sensational.
So, a few players that Victor Moses, you have
Matic,
Courtois as well, who was on loan to Atletico.
Yeah.
So what does that say about Jose Mourinho as a manager?
Well, in fairness, he did win it with Jose, didn't he, in his first season when he came back?
No, but all these players, Victor Moses, who was...
Well, Moses was outcast, but the Courtois
Mohamed
thing
Salah
coming
as well.
back. Yeah, Mo Salah, but not Courtois in that sense.
Yeah, but then he let him go. He should have been at a football club because he's a top keeper. It's just managing the players. That's all it is.
But I
It's-
mean,
it's
I look
making
at
sure you get the
Chelsea as
best.
well, and you look at that team, and you say to yourself, you can still find areas where they can improve. When you look at some of the things, you look at them as a 5 at the back, and would you say Azpilicueta is your, as much as he's played every single game, he's an out-and-out defender, but his best position is in the right back as a 4. So I believe that Conte's going to go out during the summer, and he's going to improve that side. And more than he's going to look to improve it.
Would any of the 3
5.
Juventus centre-halves improve Chelsea? The answer is yes.
Who will replace Costa, though, if he goes?
Well, Morata, he's already... I think Costa is replaceable. I do. I think he's a great target man, and he's been fantastic for Chelsea, but I do think he is replaceable. With the money at their disposal, Chelsea, what he can attract, and what's out there as well. Chelsea could be in the hunt.
Well, I also said earlier, and he scored a couple of goals today, Batshuayi. Can he establish himself as their number 1 out-and-out striker? And then they need a second striker, or somebody to do the Batshuayi role for this season.
Good point, because if you've got Zlatan for Manchester United, without his injury, Rashford doesn't get his opportunity to play in that top role.
Sure.
So, it's horses for courses. There's a bit of light at the end of the day, and sometimes you surprise people when something happens and you have to put the guy in. Then something happens.
Well, they're not going to deliver if they don't get the chance. So if Batshuayi does get the chance, maybe he does deliver.
He's got to try and do it, but many of opportunity come to players off the back of someone else's misfortune. That's how football works.
Well, don't forget about all the players that they've got out on loan as well. I mean, the likes of Tammy Abraham are really killing it right now in the lower divisions.
They have 34 players out on loan.
They do, exactly.
34 players out on loan, which is outrageous by anyone's standards. It really is.
And about the players they've lost in the past as well, your De Bruynes, your Matters. Imagine if they had been at Chelsea this whole time, as opposed to at the 2 Manchester clubs. Those are just 2 examples of players.
Yeah, I think you can look back over the years at lots of clubs. If you look at all the great players that went through Liverpool Football Club when Steve was there, they weren't all there at the same time. And, you can't have that privilege. So, teams come and go. But what I think you have to say about Chelsea Football Club is that under Abramovich...
But the difference being with Mourinho, players like De Bruyne never became great Chelsea players. They were just shipped out. And when they were given a chance to shine.
Well, maybe they had to be shipped out in order to shine. And OK, it wasn't back at Chelsea, it wasn't at Chelsea Football Club, but things happen for a reason. And do you think De Bruyne is disappointed about where he is at the moment?
I'm sure he was disappointed, which is why he came back to England with Manchester City.
Well, I don't know.
See, I don't do this to you, Gary. I don't put you this much on the spot.
You know what? We do have to go back. I believe this time around we've got Marcus Alonso standing by.
Marcus, how does it feel to have a Premier League medal around your neck?
My first big trophy, very special day today. We finally got to get the cup, and also 30 wins. It's a new record, I think, so very happy for that. And now last game next week, and a good rest for next year.
Tell me about the send-off you gave for your captain, John Terry, and what has he meant to you in this season here?
I've said it many times. It's been a great help for me individually, and I think he was a very important role in the changing room this year. It's been massive help for everybody, and well, you saw today the love from the people. That's amazing, and it's how it has to be, because he's going to be irreplaceable for Chelsea.
And how about the manager? I think he's now won 4 straight league titles with Juventus and Chelsea. What's his magic? What's his secret?
Well, we've been working hard this year, and big part of the fault is his, because he's done a great job. He's had every player focused and concentrated on the objective, the title, and happy for him as well, and thankful.
What about the man behind you, Thibaut Courtois, winning the Golden Glove? You've obviously played a part in that. How pleased are you for him?
Yeah, very pleased. He's done a great job, and hopefully he gets it next year as well, staying with us.
And can you make this even better next season? When do you start thinking about next season?
Yeah, I think there is room to improve. We'll have to work as hard, and second season working with this manager, I think we can improve a lot of things, and we will do our best.
Many congratulations, Marcus. Thank you so much.
Our thanks to Marcus Alonso. And looking at the bigger scheme of things, the big picture next season in the Champions League for Chelsea, now having Antonio Conte there, you expect it to make a major threat, a major impact in Europe, as opposed to how English clubs have done over the past, say, 5 years?
I think it could be perfect. This could be, or the next season could be an English club's time. If you're looking at now a top manager in Conte who's managed in Champions League, Juventus now 4 times titles, why not? Why can't he do it? I think he's a manager made for maybe a Champions League, the way other teams set up and the way he sets up. So yeah, why not? Why not?
Gentlemen, just a quick question. You see how the fans are bidding John Terry farewell, and you compare it to the way the United fans are treating Wayne Rooney, the club's treating Wayne Rooney. It's such a contrast. Isn't it a disgrace the way these two teams have gone about the different ways? Chelsea praising him, and then
Wayne Rooney's not leaving, is he?
If he's going to leave, if he's not there next season.
It's hypothetical, isn't it?
But the fans treating them the way they've gone after Wayne Rooney, with his form, with his performance.
I know what he's trying to say, but he's not leaving the club. There's no statement that he's leaving. He's still there, still part of the club. And maybe they're forcing the issue, I don't know. But he doesn't deserve it at this moment in time because he's not leaving. These guys are champions. That's why we're having these celebrations. Whether if Chelsea wouldn't have won the league, whether they'd been doing the same things, I don't really know. But no, Wayne Rooney's still very much part of Man United at this moment in time.
But it seems that every time a player or manager says they're going to be leaving a club, that's when we see all the positive news come out. Even if there was negativity preceding it, the moment someone says, I'm off, it changes. But it looks like John Terry is about to give his final speech as a Chelsea player, as the Chelsea captain, to the fans in attendance. Stamford Bridge is still absolutely packed to the rafters to bid them farewell, to see the trophy presentation. So let's just pass you over as we hear what he has to say.
Conte won this year, he won in 05, the Players' Player of the Year. At the club since he was 14, 22 years ago. So much has passed in that time. A winner for the club, 63% his win percentage in the Premier League. His appearances will end at 492 in the Premier League, 717 in all. One of Chelsea's finest, and certainly the finest of the modern era.
1 Champions League, 5 Premier Leagues, 1 Europa League, 5 FA Cups with 1 to come, 3 League Cups, 2 Community Shields, 717 games, 67 goals. Your captain, number 26, John Terry.
Firstly, just before I start, I want to call somebody up. Steve Holland, where are you? It's also Steve's last game today. And let me tell you, he's been different class, starting in the youth team, working with our youngsters and working all the way through to the first team. And last year especially, he stepped up to the plate and pulled us through, which was a very difficult season. This man led the team and has been excellent, and we wish him and Gareth Southgate and England all the very best in the future.
Thank you, John. This weekend, a medium-sized celebration. Next weekend, we have to make sure it's a big celebration. It's been a pleasure to work at such a brilliant club. Great players, great coaches. I consider myself very fortunate. Thank you very much.
Today is without doubt one of the most difficult days of my life. I've been very fortunate to work with some unbelievable players and managers throughout my career. Not only the ones here today, but there's some ex-managers, ex-players that are here today that I've shared some great occasions, won some great trophies with, and I'm so thankful to every single one of you. Thank you. I think we all have to thank this man up here as well, Mr. Roman Abramovich. I'd personally like to thank him and all the board. For me, the best owner in world football, without a doubt. Yes, he's put in an awful lot of money into the football club, but he cares and loves this club. Right from the under-8s to the under-9s to the 10, this man cares and looks to improve year in, year out to give us the best opportunity. Roman, on behalf of myself, the players and all the supporters, thank you very much. Bear with me. I'd like to thank my wife and my kids. For supporting me in this amazing journey I've had. Thank you, I love you. Lastly, you guys, the fans, the best supporters in the world, without a shadow of a doubt.
Ooh, wow. Yeah, right. Straight back here to the studios. John Terry's final words as a Chelsea captain and player. Where he's going to be next season? Will he still be in the Premier League? Will he be playing in another league, another country? We'll find out over the coming months. Maybe he'll make an announcement tomorrow. We're going to go for another break, though. When we return, well, we've got still other match highlights to show you because there were a lot of goals today on the final day of the Premier League. We'll be back momentarily.
Beating, 'cause you make me feel.
This broadcast of the Premier League is brought to you by Brickfield's Asia College, the fastest and smartest way. MyEG, your e-government service provider. And Wanda Coffee. Try the new Wanda Extra Presso.
I've seen this movie.
Hero's the bad guy, man. Yeah. And then the bad guy's mother become good guy, man.
Good guy become alien.
Alien become twins.
Stay strong, bro.
Stay strong. Wonder Extra Presso, brewed from premium Arabica coffee beans for a stronger coffee taste.
Wonder Coffee.
Imagine an education that takes you beyond classrooms, which does not limit you, which prepares you for the challenges that lie ahead. With ample options and different career paths, and support from a global network of universities, where you will build friendships that will change your life forever and be ready to change the world. This is the future of education. Brickfields Asia College, the best brand in education.
This broadcast of the Premier League is brought to you by MyEG, your e-government service provider. Wonder Coffee. Try the new Wonder Extra Presso. And Brickfields Asia College, the fastest and smartest way.
Now you can receive your Astro bills simply and conveniently. With our new e-billing option, you can choose to receive your bill via your email or simply view it online. Convenient and carbon footprint free. Register online at www.astro.com.my/e-billing.
Cause you make me feel.
If you've just joined us, you might have missed out on a lot of action that happened earlier on. A huge match at Anfield, at least for Liverpool, at least for that Champions League spot to get to the qualifier. Wijnaldum gave them the lead. That was doubled again in the second half before through Coutinho, and then Lallana would make it 3-0 shortly thereafter. They get the fourth spot. The big question is, who are Liverpool going to be facing when it comes to the Champions League qualifier? We'll find out in due course. Of course, whether they're going to get through the Champions League is another story entirely. Let's hear from the manager, Jurgen Klopp.
Jurgen, the message in your programme notes was finish the job. How good does it feel now that you have?
Very good, exceptionally good. What can I say? Yeah, second half. Yeah, we did the job. First half, obviously, it was again after a good start a bit difficult, but nobody cares. No, that's a long season. It's a long season, and in the moment when our timing got better, we were immediately unbelievable dangerous, and scored then the goals. Wonderful free kick. First goal was great. Wonderful free kick, and then finished with a third. That was good. So and then I couldn't imagine this morning that it would be like this. I'm very positive, but I still couldn't completely ignore that it's good, that's possible, that it's really tight until the end. So, last 15 minutes was kind of to enjoy. Good. Congratulations to the team. They did an outstanding job, 76 points. And for us, very difficult situation with a lot of injuries. Played half of the season, it felt like, without a lot of key players. I'm really happy about this. I think the people here deserve it. To this opportunity for us to qualify for Champions League, and it's to be ahead of Arsenal is a really hard job. To be ahead of Man United is a really hard job, and we did it. So I said before the game, if we win, we deserve it. If not, we don't. So no, obviously we deserve it.
Could you feel the tension during that first half? I don't know whether you knew, but Arsenal had gone ahead, City had gone ahead, crowd went quiet.
I asked for the results in half time, so and not before, so I had no idea. First half, we had to focus on our own game. I only asked because I was sure that the players got aware of it somehow, and so I needed to know. But you have no influence, and there's a lot of things you can learn. And again, the boys delivered in a very decisive moment, and that's definitely something we can build on.
Was that the biggest game of your reign so far?
No, of course not. We had bigger ones. This is a game of the season. Yes, of course we had to deliver, but I said it before, if you only go in the last game with 100% pressure, the whole season was something really wrong. So we have this pressure. We are Liverpool. We have to deliver. We have to get points and all that stuff. And we did it again. So how I said, 76 points. Everybody knows where the few points are we missed, and so we have to improve. We will, and now for today, it's a big relief. We are really happy, and yeah, all good.
What does it mean for the club moving forward to be in the Champions League?
Probably a lot. I'm not sure exactly when was the last time, 2-3 years ago?
After 2014, yeah.
Okay, so it's 3 years ago. So a club like Liverpool needs to be there. The only problem is we're in England, and a few other clubs obviously have the same target. So and that makes life not that easy. So be there consistent would give us other opportunities. But now, or today, it could not be better. It's fantastic. We are really happy. I'm proud of the boys. They did a wonderful job. We worked a lot. We are closer together. Everything is good. And now, again, we have to build on it, and that's what we will do. So, all good.
You said beforehand you were looking forward to all shouting together, players, yourself, fans. I find myself very interested in how you'll celebrate tonight.
So I have no idea. We will see. I'm quite good in celebrating, but I have really barely plans to do it. So if we are somewhere, yeah, then I will celebrate. But I have important things to do tomorrow.
Oh, go on.
I have to fly 24 hours with Matt McCann to Australia. Oh, by the way, it's a good idea.
You and your press officer, that'll be a lovely, lovely day.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks there to Jurgen Klopp. What do you make of that?
Well, you can only love him, can't you? I mean, he says he just asked him one question, and it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes later. But wonderful.
Could you summarise what he said, Steve?
No, well, he's off to Australia tomorrow. He's happy, and he can enjoy a good night out, and he's off to Australia
Not too much
tomorrow.
of a good night. It's short because he's got a 24-hour flight.
Well, he probably won't sleep. He might sleep on the flight.
That's what I would do.
I would like to sleep now, actually.
Good advice. Let's go over to the Emirates and hear the match highlights you might have missed out on. Arsenal were hoping that Liverpool would drop points and they would better their result to get that final Champions League spot, but it wasn't to be. Firstly, we saw Bellerin score in the 8th minute. It looked like Welbeck should have tucked it away, but fortunately for him, Bellerin was on hand to finish it off. A very early lead, but just 8 minutes or so, or maybe even 6 minutes later, Koscielny would be sent off for a foul there. Straight red for him. That meant that the Gunners were going to play most of the match with just 10 men. Now, oddly enough, they would then score again. It didn't seem to affect them at all. Sanchez in the 27th minute. It looked like it could have been a handball off Welbeck, who seemed to stop play, but carried on when the whistle hadn't gone. Even the Everton players seemed to have stopped in their tracks after this had happened. But you have to play till the ref blows the whistle, and it became 2-0. A lifeline was handed later on, though. Romelu Lukaku will be stepping up from the penalty spot. He was trying to chase Harry Kane's tally of goals for the season. Harry Kane ultimately would win. He scored another hat-trick today, following up from the fall a few days ago. He tucked it away from the spot to make it 2-1. This came in the 58th minute, so still left us with a good 30 minutes or so with Arsenal down to 10 men. But Aaron Ramsey, goal of the match, 3-1, 90th minute. Let's hear from the manager, Arsene Wenger.
Points and more goals than last season, but not in the top four, not in the Champions League. How frustrating is that?
Yeah, it's sad and frustrating. It was down to 1 point in the end, and I think the total is decent. You know, if you look at all over the years, with 75 points not to be in the top four, I think really the first time. But in the end, it was down to 1 point, and we did the job until the end, and even today with 10 men, I think we were remarkable, and this group has to stay together, and because I think they will win the championship.
No complaints then about Laurent Koscielny's red card?
Was harsh, but you know, we had to accept the decision.
And in terms of the FA Cup final, that's him missing that. And what about Gabriel and his injury? How serious is that?
It looks quite serious especially for next Saturday. You know, we lost 2 centre backs maybe today, and that's a big blow.
Thanks there to Arsene Wenger, gentlemen.
Steve, he was happy so far with the season. He said he's frustrated on losing on the top four. I mean, that's a bit of a debacle, isn't it? Or are you happy as well with that?
Listen, I'm happy Liverpool qualified for Champions League football. He didn't deserve it overall. I think inconsistency from players, himself not coming out and stating his position. I wish he would have come out and said he's staying or going either way.
What does it do to the players?
Well, it makes them, I don't know, unsure of their own position, Sanchez and Ozils of this world. And the questions are asked. Every press conference pre-match and post-match is, are you staying? What's happening to your future? How many times do they need to ask him that? If he comes out and puts it to bed, then they can't answer. They concentrate on the football,
Steve,
not Arsene Wenger.
Arsenal have ended up where they've ended up in the league across 38 games, and that's where they deserve to be. Simple as that. It's not as if it's like a one-off or, you know, a short cup run. It's a series of games, 38 games, and it tells a story. And regardless upon whether, you know, 75 points in the past has been good enough to get you into fourth place, on this occasion, it's not, because it's a different league.
Yeah. All right, let's take a look at some other match highlights. It was a good day for Spurs. In fact, it's been a good week full stop for Tottenham. They put 7 past Hull today. Now, looking at their points tally heading into this, it would have been enough to win the Premier League on, I believe, 8 other occasions. And they've definitely stepped it up since last season in terms of the points tally. So you're expecting a big season from Spurs come August?
Well, I think it is a big season for Spurs next year, because under Pochettino, he had a great first season, he improved on it second season, he's improved on it this season, his third season. And to maintain that, it gets more and more difficult each year. And of course, Spurs not playing at White Hart Lane, which has been next season, which has been an absolute fortress for them this season. That becomes a test, or adds to the test. I think what is key for Tottenham is the right recruitment in the summer. You know, last couple of games, Spurs have been outstanding going forward. 13 goals in 2 games says it all. You know, the tightest, or one of, if not the tightest, back four as far as goals against in a whole season is concerned, speaks volumes as well. But again, you know, it doesn't matter if the points tally this season in the past would have been enough to win the Premier League.
No, but my point was they're showing they're improving from last season.
Yes.
It wasn't about winning it or not.
Yeah, it is a continual improvement, but my point is that each year you improve, the following year becomes more difficult to do it. So it's a big step for Spurs next year.
All right, that was the final goal there, Ben Davies. But Manchester United, it seems to be at the end of every season, we're expecting a big season from them as well. I mean, Tottenham showing up like this, they've really taken it to having a top 4 spot. United will be looking to get back into it next year.
Yeah, I think they have to be. I mean, definitely have to finish in. They have to compete next year for the Premier League title. Regardless of this season, it's about Champions League and winning the Europa League final. That will get them in there. But they have to compete for the Premier League, because that's the reason why Jose Mourinho is at Manchester United. He isn't there for the fact of how gracious he is with people. He's there because he's supposed to win Premier Leagues. He hasn't got anywhere near it this season of winning it. He didn't get anywhere near qualifying in the top 4. He's got to get out of going in the Europa League. So he has to deliver that point of getting at least Manchester United in the Champions League.
We're expecting a lot of cash to be spent?
Well, that's the way it works. He needs money to bring in the right personnel.
Okay, by that logic, the amount that he's already spent, the amount that he's projected to spend, it just seems to make Jose Mourinho a good manager now is you have to buy the world's most expensive players.
It seems that way, but then he gets the most expensive players and he gets them to play in a negative manner. That's what he does.
They're going to be in action, the Europa League final against Ajax. Paul Pogba did go off in this game. We don't know if it was for an injury or was being saved for the final itself, but 2:45 a.m. do stay with us for that. We've also got the FA Cup in store. Will Chelsea get the double?
Yes.
Yes? Oh, straight answer from you?
Yeah, I think so. I think on a day they're good enough to turn Arsenal over, no problem. Arsenal, disappointment not qualifying for the Champions League, plus the fact that they've got central defenders out. It's a big ask.
Yeah. So Koscielny, having got sent off today, can't play in the FA Cup final.
Yeah, and Gabriel misses out
Injured.
as well. Yeah. By the looks of it.
Don't forget, we've also got the Champions League final with all of you gents. I'm sure you're going to be involved. It's going to be exciting. Juventus, Real Madrid. Will Real Madrid be able to do it for back-to-back seasons, the first time in the Champions League era? We'll find out on the day itself. Last words for the season, gentlemen. How would you like to remember this season? A season of Chelsea, season of Conte, the disappointment of Pep and Mourinho?
I think that sums it up quite nicely, but I have to add that Tottenham have had a fantastic season, and I don't think there's anybody could disagree with that particularly.
Parks?
I don't know. You just suddenly just threw that one at me there, so you caught me out a little bit. I would just say I'm just looking forward to how these sides like City, Manchester United and Arsenal, how they're going to improve for next season. Because just for obviously City, because of their issues, I look at Arsenal because of how poor they have been, and Manchester United. What's Mourinho going to do? How is he going to improve Manchester United?
Okay, you've actually had an extra 30 seconds to think over Parks, so what do you say, Macca?
And you're awake, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's been a fantastic Premier League season once again, and it just shows you, and I'm not biased, and not the only one who's biased, the best league in the world, without a shadow of a doubt, and now Liverpool in the Champions League.
Okay,
even better.
well, Roshan, you've often said it is not the best league in the world, so what's your assessment of today?
Bernard.
No. I'm looking forward to the Champions League final, where we see two proper teams play in the finals. I'll be having Paul and Gary. Time to go home, Adam. Let's go.
Excellent. All right. We do hope that you've enjoyed our coverage of the Premier League throughout the course of the entire season. We'll be back on your screens again in August. If you have any feedback, anything you want to say, what are your highlights? Leave it on our Facebook page, or you can also tweet us. My name is Adam Carruthers, and we'll see you in August.
Surely no way back now. Time is running out. Rock bottom of the Premier League.
A big 3 points for Swansea City in the relegation battle.
The contrast in emotions could not be more vivid.
And Arsenal's world is in danger of falling apart.
The English Premier League is not easy street.
Oh, that is incredible! It's in the head again! Brilliant! Control! Oh, screamer! Dele Alli, top of the pile! Chelsea, Tottenham, tearing it up! Chelsea right now, the cream of the crop. Oh, brilliant! The unstoppable Blue Brigade! White Hart Lane, it is au revoir. Closing in! Closing in! Yes! All hail the Chelsea champions! For the 5th time!
Smack
SmackDown Live is the land of opportunity. The house that AJ Styles built. The Queen is here. Sami Zayn is on SmackDown Live.
The brand new Kevin Owens show.
Oh, SmackDown Live! Nobody does